We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Man, this was just, we really needed this one, like badly. We needed this game desperately. Um, if we would have won this game, we would have only been a game and a half back of the Phoenix Suns. But really, it would have been one game because we would have the tiebreaker. I mean, we still do have the tiebreakers. We won 3 out of the 5 games. But it's just now you just lost a game, and now if the Warriors win today, the Lakers are just not serious. I mean, the third quarter excellent, but you start the fourth quarter sloppy. They pull ahead and they never look back. You start the first quarter atrocious, right? I mean, like what brand of basketball was that? That was terrible, terrible in a game that you absolutely need. You can't mess around it. You can't come out and do this. And I mean, I made the video earlier today talking about how I had concerns that this game was going to break that 6-0 record because I just don't have faith that Reeves and Rui and the defense was going to be able to hold their own against this Suns team. But it was also it wasn't just that. It was several things. It was them not rebounding the basketball, giving up all those offensive rebounds early on. Like, what's the point of having Reeves, LeBron, and AD in the game if you're not rebounding, right? Like, they're just getting out hustled, out work. One team is moving the basketball. Phoenix, I even made the little community post. Like, this is very apparent. One team is sharing, and the ball's not sticking, and everyone's touching it. And I mean, they had 20 assists at halftime. Like, you're not gonna win games when one team is playing the right way and you're playing as bad of a way as possible. Right? It's frustrating. We needed to come out with some fire, right? Like D'Lo showed up, right? D'Lo was great. He was carrying, especially in that first half. He was huge for us in that first half. LeBron, he showed up. AD came to life there in the third and little in the fourth, but like we needed to get going early. We needed to establish early, right? Like where was Reeves? And this is what I was talking about with D'Lo. The first game back against the Warriors, everyone's like, oh, D'Lo's trash. Here we go. He's back. And the last 2 games, he's been great. Look, I don't have concerns about D'Lo. D'Lo's going to be fine. D'Lo's playing his game. He's got his role carved out. He's got everything. We need other guys to step up. We need other guys besides D'Lo and LeBron to be great. AD, for the most part, has been good, but we need other guys contributing. And this game was a great example of why I have concerns if we get to the playoffs. Again, if we get to the playoffs, so why I have concerns with this starting 5, right? Right now, I mean, like, who else are you going to run? Who else are you going to use? Right? We just have like everybody out, but still, it's like I don't know when you get to these type of teams. When you get to you can beat the Spurs and teams like that with the starting 5, but can we beat the Phoenix Suns? Can we beat the Golden State Warriors where Rui has to defend and Andrew Wiggins, and Austin Reeves is getting targeted all game? Like, we need Jared Vanderbilt back badly. And I just think you need to start him, right? I still think you need to get Spencer Dinwiddie in a real role. It's so frustrating watching Spencer Dinwiddie just stand there in the corner all game, right? And then he's just jacking up threes. That's not his game. That's not the basketball game that he is good at. He's not a great three-point shooter, right? He's had years. He's had like little stretches, but he's not, let me just stand in the corner and be a spot-up three-point shooter. Like, what are we doing with him? I would rather put him in a position to where he can have assists. Let him run the offense when LeBron and D'Lo are on the bench. Why is Reeves still handling the basketball, right? Like, he's not a playmaker. He's not what we need him to be. Again, can he get and keep the ball moving and find the open man, run the basic pick and roll stuff? Yes, but that's not the same thing as making plays. Like, you see D'Lo is out there, head on a swivel, making plays. It's frustrating that this team is just so hot and cold, right? Like, we see what this team, excuse me, a little under the weather today, but you can see what this team is capable of. You see at times glimpses or full games where it's like, okay, this team can really make some noise. This team can do some damage. Then you see games like this where it's like no defense, no hustle, no like nothing. And then it's like, okay, well, now we want to turn it on. Now we're back in the game. And it's like, you've done this every game against the Suns. You go down 20, you play catch up. In 3 of the games, you were able to come back and win. And in the last 2, you have it. We needed this W. We needed this win badly. I still am huge on move Reeves to the bench, let him be the sixth man. Him and D'Lo are redundancies, right? Like, if you want to have Rui, fine, keep Rui, but then go with Cam Reddish, right? Like, or something. Max Christie. My problem with Max Christie is he's 20 years old, and at times he makes those 20-year-old mistakes, and he's not good at the top of the key threes. He's good at like the corner threes. But I just think we need to reconfigure and get guys slotted in proper roles, right? Like, that's my biggest problem, right? Like, why did you bring in Spencer Dinwiddie if all he's going to do is just stand in the corner all game? To me, it's simple. You have your starting 5. You let D'Lo run the point. You have a nice balance of defense and offense. And then you have Spencer Dinwiddie, Austin Reeves as your 1 and 2 off the bench. Let them run the show off the bench. And then have, whoever else. Jared, if you're not starting Jared Vanderbilt, then Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes. Boom, there's your bench 5. Or I guess maybe keep Rui or whatever you want to do. I just worry about Rui defending the quicker, twitchier perimeter guys. Right? It's just, I don't know. I just don't believe we have the defense and the competitive nature with this starting 5 to win games come the postseason. Can the Lakers beat anybody? Absolutely. Right? Again, get me in a 7-game series with any of these teams, and I'll take my chances, right? You still have LeBron James, still have Anthony Davis, right? The hope is Rui picks it up. The hope is Austin Reeves kind of gets back. But again, there's no guarantee. Like, I get so many comments from people that are like, Austin Reeves, but he's going to show up in the postseason. How do we know that? We don't know that. We've had 1 playoff run in which he was great, right? And 2 of the 3 playoff games. Right? He struggled mightily in the Warriors series, those first 3 games in particular. But let's say, okay, let's give him the whole playoff series, right? He has 1 playoff series where he's been great. We don't know if he's going, if this version of Austin Reeves is going to show up in the playoffs or not. We've seen lots of guys have incredible playoff runs. Remember Chandler Parsons? Chandler Parsons was out of the league before his contract was up, right? There's a lot of guys that have great runs that aren't able to replicate it. I just don't believe Austin Reeves is the guy that we want and need him to be, right? I think he's more efficient and more effective off the bench. I mean, again, go look up the stats. I've done an entire video breakdown about this, why it makes sense to bring Reeves off the bench, right? And, if you want to keep Spencer Dinwiddie on the bench, fine. But you need to carve out a role for the guy. Like, again, it's frustrating just seeing Spencer Dinwiddie, but it's like, I don't know how much blame to put on Dinwiddie. Because I don't know, like, what is his role outside of just standing in the corner? Why did we might as well have gotten Joe Harris or one of these shooters, right? Got what is Daniel House or something, right? Why did we get a 2-way combo guard if we're not going to use him as a combo guard? Why if you wanted a 3-point shooter that was just going to spot up in the corner all day, then you should have gotten a Joe Harris or a Daniel House or somebody like that, like some shooter that is like, okay, it makes sense why he's just standing in the corner all game. But having all these guys just be out there and just standing around, what's the point? Why did you bring Dinwiddie in this game? I have so much concern with just how this team's performing, certain guys' roles, right? Showing up in big games. Like, this was a big game and a big moment. We needed this game. We needed this win. And we just didn't get it done. And now we're just even further behind. So, like, if we get into that 9th or 10th spot and we finish this year at that, like, I'm not saying we can't get into the postseason, but it's just, it is so tough. So tough. But anyway, enough of my rant. Let's dive into the box scores, break this down, and then we'll jump into excuse me, and then we'll jump into this chats and super chats and all that stuff. Real quick, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into it. All right, so Rui in 26 minutes, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3-point range. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds. He's got to rebound the ball better. I mean, he's really a 4. playing a 3. And he rebounds better when he's at the 4. But he's got to be more aggressive at like just chasing down those balls. We're just too slow in the starting unit. Like that's what a lot of like the lack of rebounds were. It's like you have Reeves and you have Rui and you have D'Lo. You have these guys around, but they're all too slow to go chase down the ball. While you watch guys like a Devin Booker or a Grayson Allen, or these guys just go beat our guys to the basketball a lot. LeBron, 12 of 19 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 28 points. He showed up. Anthony Davis, again, picked it up better in the second half. First half, we really needed him. 11 of 17 from the field, 14 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 22 points. Austin Reeves, 5 of 12 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 14 points. D'Angelo Russell, 8 of 14, 4 of 8 from the field, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, 20 points. Again, he showed up. Prince, he had a rough game, 8 points, 3 of 10 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. Spencer Dinwiddie, 1 of 5. It was rough. Again, rough. But anyway, let's dive into the chat here and talk about it. I don't get it with this team. 80 was a ghost, and we really have to work on our rebounding. Yeah, it's just I think a lot of it is just the lack of speed that we have, right? When you have a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, and you have even like a Cam Reddish, like these guys are fast. They can get to the ball. They can beat teams. There was a lot of times in this game where the ball was there. We just got beat to the ball because we just, Austin Reeves is, slow, and Rui is slow. And, so I think that that's a big part of it. But his team is finishing 10th in the West. At the rate they're going, yeah, definitely. Do you fear we'll miss the playoffs? Absolutely, of course. I mean, we're so far behind. If we were like the 5th seed, I wouldn't be worried about it. But, we very likely are moving into the 10th today. I mean, hopefully not. But, and it's just the way that this team is just so hot and cold. Now we got to play the Clippers and the Wizards. You got to win both of those games. You got to. Right? Because now you're just getting further and further behind, right? We need some desperation, right? March, I think midway through March, we're going to have a really good idea. I think midway through March, we're going to know, like, okay, this team has figured it out and we're making a push, or pack it up. See y'all next year. Dinwiddie has not done anything for us. So we really have to get him more involved. That's my problem, right? Like, I don't know how much to criticize Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know if he's just bad. I don't know if he's great. I don't know anything about him because he doesn't have a role. He's literally just standing out there, and he's trying to play defense. He's trying to buy in, but it's like, dude, like, why did you get Spencer Dinwiddie if you're not going to utilize him and use him to his strengths? Right? Like when D'Lo and LeBron are on the bench, Spencer Dinwiddie should have the basketball. Let him be your point guard. Let him be your guy. It's a close game, and AD and LeBron decide we're going to argue about non-calls rather than getting back on defense and helping your team. And the frustrating part, this is not the first time. I mean, that's what happens a lot. It really does. It's frustrating. I mean, don't get me wrong. The refs are rough in this game, but you gotta just play to the refs. You gotta suck it up, get back, play some defense. AD had a great second half, but needed him in that first quarter to stop these offense boards. Yeah, we needed him to just be better. But again, like you gotta get him more involved. You gotta get guys more involved. There was just a lot of like shot chucking and just like we weren't moving the ball the way that we needed to move. We picked it up and changed it, and we start moving the basketball, and it's like, oh, now AD's starting to hit buckets and things are starting to get involved. It's frustrating. Seems like it's finally setting in for the optimists. I mean, look, it's not over until it's over. Like, people were ready to call it quits last year. And guess what? We were in the conference finals, right? Like, it's not over till it's over. This team has talent. They should start getting guys back. Is it tough? Yeah, of course. But AR should not initiate the offense again. Yeah. We needed Cam back for this one. Yeah, definitely. We need to start getting our defensive guys back badly. Missing the playoffs twice in 3 years. Don't count your chickens just yet, man. You're speaking in definitive. It's not over yet. Like, let's relax. The old man is always carrying, shaking my head. Yeah, unfortunately. But I'm going to be positive and say we beat the Clippers and the Wizards. I agree. Let's get it. Let's get it. And now the Warriors has the 25th easiest schedule, which is rough, which is why we needed to get like these types of wins, these type of games. Lakers, but they're just too soft. But they did it. I mean, they did better in the second half, but they started the game abysmal. Like, it was terrible, just terrible basketball. Look, I get we were missing Vando and Reddish, but the Suns were missing Bradley Beal and Eric Gordon. Come on, man. Yeah. No, this is a game that we should have won. I mean, we should have. Our closeouts on threes were bad. Royce O'Neal and Grayson Allen went crazy. Yeah. I mean, when you leave them wide open, it's easy to knock down shots. This is why Wood and Vando would have helped. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. Nurkic owned us. Yep. Darvin Ham needs to be fired right away. Why in the world do we keep playing Spencer when he gives you nothing, man? Ham is trash. It's not Spencer Dinwiddie's giving you nothing. It's his role. Again, like he's a combo guard that is just standing in the corner all game. Like, again, like how can you criticize? How can you like that? I agree. That's a Darvin Ham issue. That's a coaching issue. He's not getting him in actions. He's not getting him involved. He's not putting the ball in his hands. He's not utilizing him the way that he should be using. But I can't criticize Spencer Dinwiddie when he has no role on this team. His role is to stand in the corner and do nothing. And when the ball comes to him, if you're open, shoot it. But as far as them firing Darvin Ham, for what? The season's pretty much over. So we're either going to make the postseason and go on a run or we're not, right? If we don't, then you fire Ham and you figure it out and you see what coaches are available in the offseason. Who are you bringing in right now? Like, what are you going to do? You're going to have, what, Phil Handy take over for the rest of the season? Like, okay, but why? You know, like, now he's got to, like, figure out, like, what am I doing? Am I implementing everything that Darvin Ham's implementing? Am I doing something different, right? Maybe you get that, like, coaching fire boost, you know, where you see at times, like, a coach gets fired and, you know, a team kind of picks it up for a couple games, sure. But then eventually they get back to reality. The players have to play. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, Darvin Ham has been terrible. And I do think he needs to go, but firing him this year for what? Like, what is it going to resolve? Right? And then we keep losing or we still miss the playoffs. It's like, oh, okay, well, at least we fired Darvin Ham. Might as well just fire him in the offseason. Dinwiddie was looking so bad that game. Yeah, but again, he's just standing in the corner. Like, you know, it's easy to make players look bad when they're not being used. Why is Darvin so hesitant to play AD and Hayes together? It makes no sense. I mean, but then the problem is that you need LeBron to play the 4. So it's like, I mean, I'd like to see them play those two together more, but it's just like, how many minutes can you get those two on the court together? Right? Because, I mean, then you're going to put LeBron at the 3 and you're just going to, like, wear him down at times. Like, it's tough. Maybe in the postseason you could do it more, right? Because LeBron, it's like, dude, like, sorry, right? But for, like, an 82-game season, it's like, you know, how much can you really play those two together? And then you got Rui, who he's best at the 4. It's a tough spot to be in. Lakers just couldn't get over the hump when they were only down 2 points. Yep. The likelihood of us actually claiming the 7th seed with us losing games like these and other teams winning games, then we are looking at the 9th, 10th seed. We really need to step it up now. Yeah, we're running out of time. I mean, there's still plenty of time. You have 23 games left, but that clock's ticking. And those 23 games are going to come fast, very fast. Ham fails to make adjustments, like always. Yeah, offensive rebounding, that is always the story, people, no matter what else you think. That is the problem. Yeah, it was definitely a huge problem in this game. Huge problem. Lewis, coming out, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Today, I felt like every time Austin had the ball, he was going to do something stupid and just shoot the ball when players were open. Yeah, I mean, they want Austin Reeves. They're trying to make Austin Reeves something that he's not yet. I'm not saying he can't get there. I'm not saying eventually he can become a real playmaker and, you know, and orchestrate and run the offense, stuff like that. He very well could at some point. We just aren't in a position to test this. We aren't in a position to keep letting this happen. And, like, if we were having success with him doing that, then fine, let him do it. But we're not. We're losing. We might be the 10th seed at the end of the day, right? So it's just like, at some point, you got to make that change. And I just think Austin Reeves, keep him as the 2 guard, right? Then you don't need him to run plays. And when he does shoot a shot, he does chuck up a shot rather than making the right play. That's his role. That's his job, right? But, like, when he is failing to recognize the mismatches and he's just taking a shot rather than keeping the ball moving and stuff like that, it's like, what are you going to do? Especially when you're having such a bad shooting night. Like, you got to identify. Right? That's one of the things that, like, I've talked about with D'Lo, right? Like D'Lo will have a bad shooting night and he'll just stop shooting and just share the basketball and just keep the ball moving and just go into playmaker mode. And then he'll just go get 11 assists. And everyone's like, oh man, he shot the ball terrible. And it's like, yeah, but he stopped shooting. He actually started making plays, right? Like he still helped in other facets, right? The defensive side, he was good defensively this game. Had some nice hustle plays and stuff. But it's like when Austin Reeves' shot isn't falling, he's a liability on defense and he can't hit shots. And then he's like turning the ball over and just making poor decisions with the basketball. It's like, again, I like Austin Reeves, but it's just he's not this year at least. Maybe it changed. Maybe next year he'll be back to being the Austin Reeves he was last year. But we don't need that right now. We need him to be better this year. And he just hasn't been. He's had stretches. Don't get me wrong, he's had stretches. He had a 7 out of 10 game stretch where he was great and he was hitting threes and he was hitting shots. But you see that all season that's been the story with him. All right, he'll have a handful of games where he looks like Austin Reeves again. And then it's like another handful of games where he's just rough. Right. And it's just like, and then he has another handful of games and then it's just the inconsistencies where, like, again, if you move him to a bench role, the inconsistencies aren't as bad. And he's going up against bench players. He has to defend bench players, right? Like, I just think that that's the better approach. Right now, I get it. We don't have many options. So fine, leave it. But at some point, I think you're going to have to make that adjustment, I think, right? When Austin Reeves is on and he's cooking and everything's flowing, yes, it looks great. And in the starting unit, you're like, man, okay, this is why he's there. But it's just like, it's the consistency factor. It's like one or the other, where it's like if you bring Reeves off the bench, now if he has a game like this, it's not that impactful. It's not as bad because you're going to resort back to the starters. They can take over. They can do what they need to do. If he is cooking and he is having a great game, right, then you keep riding him, right? Like, it's easier to make that assessment. It's easier to make that judgment rather than like, well, now's the time to put the starters back in and Austin Reeves is one of the starters. It's just, again, and again, all the numbers, everything backs it up. Austin Reeves averages the same exact stat line. And people forget when Austin Reeves moved to the bench, he had 5 straight games, something like that, where he scored 20 off the bench because he was going up against bench opponents. He's able to, and he can play the role he wants to play more. He can be more aggressive. He can take those ill-advised shots at times. Right. And it's different. But anyway, appreciate you, Lewis. Tired to talk about the same stuff. Bigger glass, Robin Lopez are now going to move without the ball. Is Reeves going to make open shots? Is Rui going to step up? Yeah. Seems like different day, same story. Why didn't we play Max? He would have defended Booker better than Taurean Prince. I mean, well, Taurean Prince was on KD a lot this game, but I mean, I like Max Christie, but again, he's 20 years old. He gambles a lot. He's not great at fighting through screens. Like, could you have played him a few more? Sure, but I don't think it really would have made a difference. It wasn't like Booker went off for like 50. Like, this game was everybody. I mean, they had like 5 guys almost get 20, right? They had Royce O'Neal with 20, Kevin Durant 22, Nurkic with 18. Grayson Allen with 24. Devin Booker only had 21, and he didn't shoot great. He was 8 of 18 from the field and 1 of 4 from 3. So he didn't have a great game. Kevin Durant was 7 of 20 and 2 of 8 from 3. Like, their 2 best players didn't have a great game. It was everyone else that killed us. But all of the action came through Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So they were just making the right reads. And again, moving the basketball. Let's see. I don't know if there is a way to measure it, but I guarantee if there is, you will find every second chance point is actually equal to about 1.5 points in the grand scheme of things. I mean, yeah, because more times than not, when you give up a second chance points, when you give up an offensive rebound, it usually leads to a wide open 3. And it's the NBA. You guys hit those. So defense isn't over until you close with the rebound. Did you see Grayson Allen today? He stepped up for our team. We need our guys to step up. Come on, man. Yeah, definitely. Played great offensively, but got lost on rotations a lot in the first half. Yeah, I mean, the first half was just, it was rough. But again, it was already too late. By the time we decided, like, okay, now it's time to play basketball, it's too late. Like, what are you going to do? 80 wasn't aggressive enough. Yeah, I agree. I think 7th, 8th seed is the best case for this team. At the rate it's going, I think so too. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something me. If today we play Denver, we are going to get swept again. Yeah. Yeah, if we were playing them in the postseason, yeah, absolutely. If Rui isn't making shots, he's useless. I mean, he was. I mean, he shot the ball well. But it's just he can't defend the twitchier wings. He can't. He's not quick. He's not laterally. He's not great laterally. I've seen enough of Austin. Again, I don't mind. Like, I just think Austin right now is not. He's playing too big of a role for his production. I think you could still play Austin Reeves, 25, 30 minutes a game, but utilize him in a different role, in a different way, right? Like, again, if you move him to the bench, because for Austin Reeves, it's not about whether he starts or finish. It's about the minutes he plays. As long as he plays the minutes, then he can be effective. But if you match him with the lesser tier guys, he's better than them. So he's going to have a bigger impact. He's going to have more efficient games. That's why when he's on the bench, all of his percentages just skyrocket, right? Again, he averages the exact same stat line, but on just far better efficiency, like almost double in some categories. So it's just, to me, it's like, just move him to the bench. Let's inject, especially the way D'Lo's been playing this year. D'Lo's been very good, especially to start games, especially when he's being aggressive and getting his shot going early, right? Like, I just think we have, like, if you want to keep Rui in the starting lineup, fine, keep Rui in the starting lineup, but you need to get that defensive guy. You need to, like, if Cam Reddish comes back, then fine, move Cam Reddish in there. And I know people are going to be like, well, Cam Reddish is limited offensively. Yeah, but he gives us that athleticism. He gives us that foot speed. He gives us the guy that can be the point of attack, that can defend the best player on the other team. So now everyone else trickles down, right? And he can help with the rebounding. He can go chase down those loose balls, right? On top of the defense he's going to play. And the Lakers did a very good job of making Jared Vanderbilt, who's worse offensively than Cam Reddish, and before Vanderbilt got hurt, we're making him a very valuable offensive piece, right? Because he was moving without the ball. He was being that cutter. They were feeding him the ball. He was finishing around the rim. Cam Reddish can do a lot of those same things. So I just think you maybe go that, right? And try that out for a little bit. I'm not saying it has to be Cam Reddish, but I'm just thinking, like, who's coming back soon? Obviously, I would prefer Jared Vanderbilt. But Vando, who knows, if he even comes back. So I just think you gotta find something. We need to have a better balance. We're leaning heavily into the offensive side of things with the starting five, and you're lacking the defense. I mean, it's been the story. It's not like it's just this game. It's literally been with this starting five. The offensive production is insane, but their defense is bad. So you're hoping to outscore teams. And when you're not outscoring teams, then this is the result. You get blown out by 20 and you only score 18 points. And it's just bad. Personally, didn't like the officiating at all tonight. Gave flashbacks of the officiating around the time last year. Could care less, though. Yeah. I mean, the officiating was rough, but in my opinion, we didn't lose this game because of the officiating. I mean, it didn't help, but we just didn't play the right way. I'm done for this team. The Warriors playing better. It seems like they will take our spot. We're done. It's very possible. Very possible. Austin Reeves says bad. Badly shaking my head. Ham sucks. He can't even get Dinwiddie involved. Yeah, which that to me is more of a coaching thing, right? Like, that's lack of utilization of players. But he's been that all year. I've talked heavily about how, like, I hate how Christian Wood's been utilized this season. I hate how Rui's been utilized a lot this season. And now you're seeing it with Spencer Dinwiddie, right? It's just like he's not good at putting players in position to have success. Right? He's not good at like, okay, this is your role. This is where we need you involved. This is what we need you to do. And it's frustrating. If the Lakers play like this on Tuesday, it'll be another loss yet. Spencer Dinwiddie needs to adapt to the team, not the Lakers adapt to him. Reeves is better than Dinwiddie. You're overhyping Dinwiddie. The reason he was good for the Mavs is Luka created for him. But, Anna, first off, a couple things for that. One, he's new to the team, right? And if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the coach's job to carve out roles for players? Isn't it the coach's job to come up with the schemes and how players or where players are supposed to be? You're supposed to be, I need you in zone one. I need you over here. When the ball's in this corner, you go here, right? So clearly that is a coaching thing. Look, and I've defended him on a lot of things, criticized. I'm fair when it comes to coaches and stuff like that. I think the players absolutely do need to play. I do agree to an extent. Spencer Dinwiddie does need to be more aggressive, does need to be more assertive. But he just got to this team, and he has no clear role, right? How do you adapt when you are a specific type of player that was brought in to have those specifications to impact the team, and you get no opportunity to do any of that stuff? He's not a great three-point. He's never really been a great three-point shooter. And he was great in Dallas because he got to play the role that he is best at. Luka, yes, created a lot for him. But Spencer Dinwiddie, when Luka went to the bench, who ran the point guard duties? Spencer Dinwiddie. So Spencer Dinwiddie was able to thrive in his role, and him and Luka had great success because he was able to have the ball in his hands, play off ball, but in key moments, he was able to run the show. That's why he was playmaking for them and getting assists and scoring 17 points. Because when Luka went to the bench, he was able to be aggressive. He was able to play his role and the best what he was. It wasn't just solely Luka. He was even better for the Nets. Right? When Dallas traded him to the Nets, he was better for the Nets. He averaged 17, almost 18 points and 9 assists when he got traded to the Nets. Right? It's the role that's carved out for him. It wasn't just like, oh, Luka did everything for him. No, he got to play a specific role. Jason Kidd knew what Spencer Dinwiddie was best at, and he put him in that position to have that success. And then he got traded to the Nets, and they were like, here, you get to be the point guard. You get to run the show. You get to handle business. And they let him do that, and he did it. All right? Like, it's what it is. Again, I'm not saying you have to swap Dinwiddie for Austin Reeves or anything like that, right? If you think Austin Reeves is better than Spencer Dinwiddie, that's fine, right? But Reeves has not been the Reeves that we need him to be this season. And Spencer Dinwiddie has no role. He has, like, what is his job? And you want him to adapt? Like, how is he, explain to me how he's supposed to adapt. How do you adapt? When you're supposed to be out of the schemes. That's what it is. He's supposed to be the corner guy, but that's not his game. He's not going to all of a sudden with 20 games left become a 50% three-point shooter. That takes time to change and adapt and work on and hone that craft. Like, again, I don't agree with that at all. Let's see. A team with AD and LeBron as big will not be able to rebound. LeBron is not a big. Yeah, but he's a good rebounder. It's just, again, it's the hustle. A lot of the rebounds were long balls that we didn't chase down that they did. And that's usually the case. We're not quick enough to get to the spots we need. Never liked Reeves, to be honest. I like Reeves. I do. I just don't think I hyped up Reeves like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan in the offseason. Like, go watch the videos in the offseason. But in those same videos, I did say I have concerns that this is the type of player Reeves is going to be. And it's played out exactly what my concerns were. And now we have enough of a sample size to assess Austin Reeves. You know, I see comments from people all the time that they're like, oh, you're overreacting, you're doing this. No, it's not like it's a one-game sample size, right? Like, again, it's what is he doing game in and game out? The decision-making, the being targeted on the defensive side. It's the total package of what it's been all season long, right? Like he's not, he has stretches, yes. And then when he has those stretches, everyone's like, Austin Reeves, woo, who's Jordan? We got Reeves, right? Like, and then that stretch ends, and then he goes on another stretch like this where he's bad. It's just, we've seen it all season. We have like a 60-game sample size. He's not who we need him to be right now. He still can be impactful. He can still be a very valuable player. I still have I think that there's a lot of good that Austin Reeves can provide to this team. I just think the role and the fit within the starting unit is not what we need right now. I think Austin Reeves and D'Lo, you don't have that front line defense to be your point of attack, right? You have that lack of defense, and then you got Rui who can't make up for those faults. That's why I think you need to get a Cam Reddish or a Jared Vanderbilt into that unit, so that way they can at least help navigate that. Now you have somebody that can be a point of attack. Now you have somebody that can defend. Now you have somebody that can rebound. Now you have somebody that can chase down those loose balls and dive for those balls and do the things that Reeves and D'Lo and Rui just aren't capable of doing. And so I just think you move Reeves to the bench, and then you insert Cam Reddish or somebody like that, and now you're better suited in that way. And then now Austin Reeves, he gets to continue to thrive. And again, the numbers this year back it up heavily that Austin Reeves is better off the bench than in the starting unit. And you kind of go that way. Reeves continues to get targeted on defense. He's just sore thumb sticking out. Yeah, because, teams see a clear hole. They see a clear disadvantage. So what do? They exploit it. That's what you're supposed to do. I like Rui, but he can't shuffle his feet fast enough on defense. Yeah, which is why he's the 4. He has to play the 4, right? But if you want to keep Rui in the starting unit and you want to go big, then fine, replace Rui, right? They're gonna have to replace. And I talked about this like a week ago when we were on that streak and we were everything. And I was like, I have my concerns. We start playing these good offensive teams. We start playing these guys that have the perimeter guys that are gonna exploit us. And you saw this game. Guess what? It got exploited. I just think you're going to have to move either Rui or Reeves to the bench and insert a defensive-minded guy. Right? Like, again, we don't have Jared. If we had Jared Vanderbilt, I'd say if you want to keep Reeves as starting unit, swap Rui with Jared Vanderbilt. There you go. Right? Swap that. That was the team that led you to the 5. Right? I understand the offensive limitations with him. But again, the Lakers were able to make him a viable offensive option there before he got hurt. And guess what? It involved him not just standing in the corner shooting threes all game like he did last year, right? We got exploited because Vando was just standing in the corner all game. Well, guess what? Now he's constantly moving without the ball, which now draws the defender, which now if the ball's swinging and you take your eyes off of Vanderbilt for a second, boom, he's gone. And you're not catching him, and he's now at the rim getting a layup, or he's getting an offensive board, or he's doing whatever. Let's see. But Dinwiddie isn't a catch-and-shoot person. That isn't how it works. Thank you. It's my point exactly. Let's see what else. Reeves just getting cooked by Booker and Bradley. Tyler's new no-brainer, trash, jerk Ham. Look at Vogel. He knew who O'Neal is, and he used him right. Ham should watch Dinwiddie games. Don't sleep and watch Dinwiddie games. Yeah. Again, I think if you put Dinwiddie in a proper role, it doesn't seem that difficult to me, which is why it's so frustrating, right? You got him to be your playmaker off the bench, something the Lakers haven't had all season. When Austin Reeves was doing it, right, early, like up until we got Spencer Dinwiddie, I was fine with it. You never really heard me complain about Austin Reeves in that playmaker role because we didn't have another choice. We didn't have another option, right? It's like D'Lo and LeBron go to the bench. Well, all you got is Reeves, right? Because Gabe Vincent's been hurt all season. And so, but now you have an option and you have a better option and you're not using that option. It's so frustrating. It's like, God, it's like, come on, man. Like it's to me, it's a no-brainer situation. Dinwiddie has not been doing anything since the Lakers got him. Like, oh my gosh, bro, every time we get someone, they never show up to play. It's not him not showing up to play. It's him not having a role. Again, if he had a clear role and he was just playing poorly, believe me, I'd be up here like everyone else. Like, dude, Dinwiddie just doesn't have it right now. But that's not what it is. I don't know how to assess Spencer Dinwiddie when he hasn't been able, he has no role other than just standing in the corner. Even when he does have the ball, he's basically just the initiator, gives the ball up, and then goes stands in the corner. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's frustrating. They still haven't done anything about the rebounding. This has been a problem since last year yet. Again, we just don't have guys quick enough to chase down those loose balls. 51-34 rebounding. It's crazy. Yeah. Let's see. I told y'all Dinwiddie is not a good fit. Why we need another guard. We just need another big. I think Spencer Dinwiddie can be an excellent fit if you give him the proper role. I think Dinwiddie's fine if we utilize him. He fits a major need that the Lakers had. A playmaker off the bench and a point of attack athletic defensive guard. Right? He's not like elite defensively or anything like that, but he's better than Reeves and D'Lo. And we're not utilizing him in any stretch. He's basically just been resorted to a 3-and-D guy. And he's not that. That's not his game. Can he do that on occasion? Sure. Does he have games where he'll hit 4 or 5 threes? Sure. He's had them. Right? But that's not his game. To me, you have him as your playmaker off the bench. D'Lo goes to the bench. Spencer Dinwiddie comes in. Here you go. Now you play the D'Lo role. And we've seen how successful D'Lo was when D'Lo finally got to play the D'Lo role. I just think it's simple. You move D'Lo out, and guess what? You insert Spencer Dinwiddie, and you always have a guy that can play that D'Lo role. Obviously, D'Lo is a better shooter than Spencer Dinwiddie is, but it's more so about, but you can get different looks with Dinwiddie, right? He's more explosive. He's more athletic. He can get to the rim easier, right? He can hit the mid-range. He can, I think to me, it's a simple solution that just hasn't been done yet. Like, we're so injured. I know we could have played better, but damn, Cam needs to get back at the very least. We need our perimeter D. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Yeah, Nurk came to play today, without a doubt. We need another big that can give us a spark for rebounding. But who? Like, who's that guy? DeMarcus Cousins retired. Dwight Howard isn't the answer. Dwight Howard is far from the answer. Hassan Whiteside retired. Like, Robin Lopez has never been a good defender. Talking about a guy that averages like 2 rebounds a game for being a 7-footer. Like, his best year rebounding, I think, was like he had like 7 rebounds. That was like his best year. Reeves played so bad, man. Pisses me off. Yeah. Next season, the Lakers need to go big. Searching trade Wood and Hayes. Oh, I mean, Hayes and Wood could be free agents, so we'll see how that goes in the offseason. And I mean, this team can be very lazy. Has a huge target on his chest for opposing teams yet. Dinwiddie needs more time to get comfortable. I don't even think it's that. I just think he has no role. Like, that's the problem. We won't even make the playoffs. Do you know how hard it is to win 2 playing games on the road? And that's my concern. Can the Lakers do it? Sure. But they haven't been a good road team all year. And it's so tough. So tough to do that. Hit the like button. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I think you're riding the roller coaster. Reeves is incredible in the starting lineup. We just need Vando back. I'm not putting a player who has been with the team for 2 weeks in the starting lineup. I'm not saying you have to put Spencer Dinwiddie in the starting lineup. That's why I said Cam Reddish. And it's not a roller coaster to Reeves. I mean, I've talked about this heavily for a while now. And I keep being right. And it's not just this game. It's not like if Reeves just had a bad game today, I would have been like, hey, Reeves had a bad game. But it's been more than that. It's him playing the playmaker role. I mean, look at the Warriors game. You want a great example, right? Let's look at the Warriors game. Austin Reeves has the ball. Literally right in front of him. The distance of me and my camera. Anthony Davis has established position against Pod. And what does Austin Reeves do? And misses it. And then they get the ball and they run the other way and they get a bucket. Like 10 possessions later, Austin Reeves has the ball again right in front of him. Who has established position? This time against Moses Moody. What does Austin Reeves do? Does he recognize that Anthony Davis has established position against a smaller defender and has been dominating the Warriors all game? And we're trying to get back into the game? No, he doesn't recognize that. Instead, what does he do? He takes another ill-advised three. It's not that Reeves can't fit in the starting lineup or anything. It's the redundancies. One of him or D'Lo doesn't make sense in the starting lineup. And D'Lo is the better player. And he's been better all season long. You're not moving D'Lo to the bench, so you got to move Reeves to the bench. I just think you have to. Again, if you want, if Vando comes back, but we don't even know if Vando's coming back. Vando might not even come back this year. And so what? Now what are you going to do? Yeah, you could move Rui to the bench and then put in Cam Reddish, but you still have that big target. You can't tell me Reeves has been incredible in the starting lineup when he's been our number one target on opposing teams' defensive schemes. He's had great games this season. Don't get me wrong. He's had games where he's looked brilliant. But he's had as many games that are bad. Half his games he shot 40% or worse. Literally half of his games, he's shot 40% or worse. He's had, I did this breakdown. I'm trying to remember the number. It's something like 15 plus games or something like that, 15 games where he's had under 10 points scoring the basketball. And he's had another 15 of them where, yes, he did score more than 10 points, but he was 28% from the field, right? And a lot of them were free throws and stuff like that. He hasn't been incredible in the starting line. You know where he was incredible? The bench unit. Again, you don't believe me? Don't take my word for it, 12 Hoops. If you think I'm riding this roller coaster and I'm overreacting, go look it up yourself and tell me I'm wrong. Go look it up. Or go watch that video. I have an entire breakdown video where I explain the number, I go through it all, and I talk about Reeves. But just in case you're I don't trust what he's saying is true, do your own homework. Do your own research. Go look at Austin Reeves' numbers when he comes off the bench and look at how more efficient and effective he is. The Lakers are a -7 when Reeves is on the court this season. Because he, again, is he's targeted constantly. Austin Reeves was a -10. He was, second? Yeah, he was second on the team behind Taurean Prince, who was a -13. Again, if you think I'm riding this roller coaster and I'm overreacting, which I've been talking about this for a month now, if not longer. I've kind of sprinkled over it all season, but heavily I've dove into this the last month or so. And I keep reiterating, I keep talking about it. But again, if you think I'm wrong, please, I always encourage people, do your homework, do your research. Don't just take what I say. I'm leaving out the emotion. I love Austin Reeves. I hyped up Austin Reeves like he was going to be the greatest player ever. I highlighted my concerns and my issues, and guess what? They're all coming to fruition. But I am removing my love for Austin Reeves from the conversation and saying that is a clear hole and flaw. We got to correct it. I was saying we should trade Austin Reeves and keep D'Lo. And that was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. This isn't me riding a roller coaster. It's the reality. I just think that there's a lot of people that are Reeves stans, which is fine. I get you love a player. But I think a lot of people are oh, Reeves is this, that, and the other. And then they see him have one good game, and they're there's my justification. Just like the Warriors game. D'Lo had a bad Warriors game, and 90% of this chat was D'Lo's terrible, D'Lo's trash. And I was relax. Let's see how he looks going forward. It's the first game back from All-Star break. Probably going to take him a game or two. Guess what? He bounced right back in the Spurs game, and he was great this game. Again, it's not it's the sample size. I'm not looking at it as like a fan going like, oh, Reeves is this or D'Lo's this. No, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at like the actual sample size that we have and going, this is the conclusion. This is who the player he is, right? Do the numbers tell the whole story? Of course not, but they tell a pretty convincing thing. People are all like, how did you guess that? How did you know? It's not I didn't guess it. It's not that I was right. I'm just looking at the numbers constantly. And the numbers are there for a reason. Analytics exists for a reason. It tells you and tracks what the player is. And then you look at that and you go, okay, this is clearly the issue, right? I'm not looking at it in an emotional standpoint. I'm looking at what the facts are and judging this accordingly based on the facts. And it keeps happening. And everyone's like, damn, why does this keep happening? And it's like, because that's what it is. You know, as much as I want it to change, it's not going to change. But anyway, sorry, that was a long rant. But I get comments like this all the time. So I just felt like this was a good opportunity to touch on those. Standing around with his hands in the pocket. Can't believe Pelinka didn't make a single trade. Yeah, but that's the problem. Though, was like, look, I'm frustrated about that too. I would have liked the trade also, but I mean, me and you and Andrew, we were talking heavily about trades. But we don't know what was available. We don't know what there was. Like all the trades that were there, all the trades that were made. Like what trades? One, could we have done, and two, made sense. Like are gonna turn around the season, right? I just think there was like even if we would have gotten Royce O'Neal, right? He had a great game this game, but he hasn't been like great for the Suns. Like even him, does he make us a real locked in contender? I don't think so, right? Like I don't think that there was anything once the dust settled, right? I just don't think that there was anything where it was like, oh man, like that was the move, that was the play. But we'll see what they do in the offseason, right? If they go get a Donovan Mitchell or a Trae Young or something like that they really want, although I'm not really big on Trae Young, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. If they go get somebody like that, then maybe it was all worth it. It would suck to kind of lose this season, but we need to go 500 over the stretch, including Phoenix, so 5-4 in our next 9. I mean, we need to do a lot more than that. We have 23 games left. We got to win like 13, 14 of those games. Like seriously, like we got to win like 14 of those. We got to go like 14-9 the rest of the way, if we want to have a shot at the 6th seed. This team is so damn confusing. I feel that. Starting 5 is too small. They can't rebound. I mean, I don't think it's too small. Their smallest player is D'Lo, and he's like 6'4". Right? You got a 6'8" Rui, 6'8" LeBron. I mean, the Suns were smaller than we were. Like, who was their starting 5 was what? Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Nurk, right? Like, and they were killing us. Again, they were just chasing down the balls. They were being the aggressors. Let's see. Drop Wood for Lopez. You don't know when Wood finna heal. The problem is that then the Lakers have him as dead cap next year. And Lopez, like, again, he's not like, is he really solving your rebounding and center issues? Probably not. I mean, I do like him as like just like a big body that you could throw on like Jokic if we play Denver in the playoffs, if we even get to the playoffs. But like, I mean, the dude like has like a career average of like 8-8 or something. What is? I mean, he's never been a great center. He's just a big body, and he's okay in limited minutes. I mean, you talk about a guy that, yeah, he's 8-5. 8 will be nice, and we'll round it up. 8-5 for his career. Like, I don't like how much is he helping. I understand, like, hey, best ability is availability, but I mean, again, like, how much is he helping and impacting to where it's worth having dead weight? And now that messes up our cap situation in the offseason. At this point, I'm calling it a season, even if they make it in. They're not reasonable expectations for them to win it all. I'm still holding on hope. Don't get me wrong. It's tough. It's bleak right now, but we'll see. let's see. Talk about Darvin Ham's decision making. He can't coach this team. Now he's a high school coach, not an NBA coach. I've talked about that heavily. How we lose with KD having a back. Devin Booker didn't have a great game either. It is rough. A bunch of players the Lakers need to work on their foot speed and strength in the summer. AR, your number one. Problem is, it's that is easy. We're not making the playoffs tight with this roster. I mean, never say never, but it's definitely looking tough. I still think in a play-in setting, I still think they lock in, get the win. I think depending on the matchup, they can still get in. But time will tell. We'll see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Going to end up with the 10th seed. It's very possible. Very possible. Ham is just a terrible coach. Dinwiddie should be the one with the ball when D'Lo is resting. Exactly. My point exactly. Ghost. Let's see. I'm annoyed at how much of a waste Gabe Vincent has been as a roster spot. It's very frustrating, but I mean, you can't control injuries, and it's frustrating. But it's like, you know, it's not his fault, right? Like, and he tried to come back, and he should have had surgery, but he was trying to avoid surgery so that way he could come back, and it just didn't work out. Um, it's time to rebuild. We tried depth and working. That's why I said if we get third guy, and a lot of people said, "Oh, we need depth, we need depth," and I said, depth is great when the pieces are working and everything's clicking, but stars are the ones that get you over the top. Stars are the ones that win. Like, name me a team that's super deep that didn't have several stars. All right. Bando and Cam would have locked up KD, Booker, and Royce O'Neal. People better pray the Lakers miss the playoffs, because if we get our team fully healthy for the playoffs, we are going to be a problem for teams. Yeah, if we can get to the postseason, that's my thoughts. Is that if the Lakers can if the Lakers can not stay healthy, get healthy, come the postseason, I like our chances. D'Lo and Reeves have to go. The worst backcourt in the league. Reeves can't play defense. Basketball IQ is trash, and he doesn't look for AD. D'Lo just can't play defense. Shit. Lakers bench Reeves. I mean, D'Lo's been, again, he's not elite defensively, but he's been pretty good this year. I guess by like D'Lo standards, but yeah, I mean, that's my problem. Like, D'Lo and Reeves, there's too many redundancies there, and I just don't think you're going to be able to have a bunch of success with those redundancies. Dallas is so much better than us. Yeah. If we even get PJ Washington hasn't been good for them. PJ Washington's having a rough go right now. He's shooting like 20% from three and like and like 40% or under 40% from the field. He hasn't been great. Daniel Gafford's been really good for them. Daniel Gafford's averaging like 14 and 10 for them. How do we get him more involved when he doesn't move? You can move to get the ball. But again, like, the way that, here, explain like this. So the Lakers' offensive scheme, 5 out, right? You need to have a cornerman. And usually the cornermen just crisscross, or if you can get the cut, you get the cut. But most of the time, one of the cornermen just stay. It's like imagine a post, right? Just, you have a post that you need to guard, right? So Dinwiddie is assigned to that post. So his job is to stand there. And then they have all the in and out action. Or they run it through LeBron and AD, and then you have the kick out. It's just, problem is Spencer Dinwiddie is not. He should be the penetration man, not the post man. That's we don't have a free moving offense. We're running a very specific offense where everyone plays a very specific role, and you have him out there as like that guy. Let's see. I I mean, Austin. I mean, Austin cannot be doing this, man. Like at least last year, he was decent defensively. Yeah, I mean, he was serviceable. Like that's all. Like if he could just at least get back to being serviceable, it would go a long way. Like he doesn't have to be great. We just need him to at least not just get torched every time. But the problem is, it doesn't matter who's torching, like or who he's defended. They're all torching him. I have trust if we make the playoffs. I don't trust us to make the playoffs. So that is a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it. Yeah, I'm with you, Andrew. That's kind of where I'm at. That's an excellent way to put it. Like Lakers get into the playoffs, I trust them. I like our chances. We've seen this team elevate in the postseason or playoff atmosphere basketball. And you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis who are going to elevate. I trust them in the playoffs, but I don't trust them to make the playoffs right now. It's just looking very bleak. So I am with you. Don't worry, guys. You have Donovan Mitchell coming this summer for us reason pick squad. If only. If only. Um, like I remember Reeves fighting through block, being shot off screens last year. As defense regression is very unprecedented to me. It's really crazy. That or teams are targeting him more. Like last year, teams might have not. Teams weren't. Well, I know for a fact teams weren't targeting him as much as they are this year. But in general, I think that's a big part of it. Reeves for DeJounte would have made this a championship team. Hate to say it like Reeves, though. I like Reeves a lot. I was in the camp of I think you should trade Reeves and bring in DeJounte. My problem was that I still think like if you were to do that, you're probably going to need to trade D'Lo. Like D'Lo can shoot and play off ball, but D'Lo's like the reason D'Lo's been so good is he has the ball in his hands and he gets to play the point guard role. DeJounte Murray, you'd have to make him the point guard because that's what he's best at. So my thing was like trade Reeves, get DeJounte Murray, and then trade D'Lo for some other pieces. Go get a Royce O'Neal and whatever else, right? Like that would have been great. Um, let's see. But Booker's gravity and drawing doubles was a problem. Do you send a double with Christie on Booker? Probably, yeah, probably. I mean, Christie's not stopping Booker. I like Christie a lot, and I'm super high on Christie. He's like the one guy that I don't really ever want the Lakers to trade. Just because again he's 20 years old, and you already see like bare minimum he could be like a premier 3-and-D guy. But like my problem is that like he's not. I mean, Devin Booker is one of the premier offensive scorers in this league. Like you're not like could he have maybe slowed him down more possibly, but we lost this game on poor defense and lack of offensive rebounds. Definitely. I agree. I think D'Lo, Cam, Bron, Rui, 80 would be our best lineup. Yeah, I just think you have more size, you have that point of attack athletic guy. I think you should at least try it. Let's see. Let's see. I miss Vando too. I'm with you. Rui's 3-point percentage makes up for Reddish, but we would have a ton of size, and Reddish is better than Vando on offense. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts too. That's why I was screaming that. Yeah, and I mean, talk about Rui shooting 40% from three. If the pizza man truly loves his babysitter, then why does he slap her rear? Perhaps she did something wrong. I was hoping the Suns lose today. I agree. I was hopeful too. I'm done with the season. I just want the offseason to come. I feel it. Look, like I said all year last year, let's wait and see. Right? Like people were ready to write off the Lakers. People were ready to call it a season, all that stuff, and then we turn it around. All right. I'm not saying that that'll happen again, but I'm not ready to throw my hat in until it is. Because again, when you're, be pessimistic, look at it as like, hey, better to expect and be excited and surprised than the alternative where you expect them to make it. Now you're disappointed, but I still believe that this team get to the postseason. I think they'll make some noise. The lack of athleticism and shooting on this team, too many issues to fix. I mean, once we get everybody back, well, like Vando, Reddish, two guys, even Gabe Vincent to an extent. I mean, Gabe Vincent's not like crazy athletic, but he should help hopefully with shooting, get some athleticism. Again, I'm not saying like lock it in, but I think we'll be better. Give me last year's post deadline team over this one. I don't care. Let's see. The hard truth is LeBron is point guard at this age, and we have too many guards. That's why I think the offseason, we get bigger and a bona fide scorer, and we'll be back top 5. Problem is LeBron wants to play the 4. He doesn't want to play the point. That's why we keep getting. That's why we got Spencer Dinwiddie. That's why we got Russell Westbrook when we got him. And LeBron wants to play more off ball. He doesn't want to get worn down by having to play the point guard position all season, which he's kind of doing anyway. But you've seen him kind of regress and let D'Lo run the point more. I'm going to need Hillbilly Kobe to step up his game against the Clippers in order to win. Yeah, I'm hoping he bounces back. I'm hoping he has a good game. We got to out-rebound this game. We did. Man, what was our point of getting Spencer? We're wasting his talents. I am right there with you, Jay. It is one of the most frustrating things I think that there are right now. Just like watching Spencer Dinwiddie just stand in the corner all game. It's infuriating. Like, it's just frustrating. Sumi meant Nurkic is so quick chasing down them rebounds. He was hooping. Should have picked up Bol over Wood before and also trade Royce O'Neal. We need Denver to beat the Warriors today unless they give away that game. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Bol over Wood. I mean, Bol's had a nice couple games for the Suns, but he hasn't really done much all season. He was out of the rotation entirely not that long ago. He's kind of hot and cold. I think we should keep this team together, wait until next season, just fire Ham next season, go coach searching, and maybe trade our bigs that we have now and search for another big next season. We'll see. DeMarcus Cousins is in Taiwan. Yeah, but he announced that he's done with the NBA, that he had his run or whatever. He even I think made a Twitter post, but he said it in an interview. First quarter killed us, letting them score 45. Every other quarter was on a 7-point gap or less. Yeah. The first lack of energy. Suns own y'all. Yet the Lakers have beaten the Suns this year more than the Suns have beaten the Lakers. So make that make sense. The Lakers are 3-2 in the 5 games that they've played. So again, make that make sense. Suns made a tremendous pickup of Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal is really good. I wanted Royce O'Neal on this Lakers team. I mean, he's a role guy, but this is what he's capable of. A guy that can just get hot on any night. He can be kind of hot and cold at times, but when he's on, man, he is on. The only easy schedule right now is the Wizards. Yeah. AD literally never plays well against Sabonis or Jokic. Yeah, those the European centers, man, give him trouble. Of European bigs. I don't know if he's scared. I think it's a tough matchup for him because they're very unique in how they play. They're usually big and bulky and they're not U.S. type centers. Reeves played terrible. Yeah, he was rough today. See, we needed a big body to grab boards. Royce O'Neal makes difference out there. Ham needs to cut out the playmaking schemes for Reeves. I agree, especially when you got Spencer Dinwiddie. You never heard me complain about it until recently because, again, I understood. I mean, I expressed my frustrations with him in that role at times, but I was never like, oh, you need to like completely remove it because we couldn't. We didn't have anybody else. Now you do. And we're still doing it. It's just, it drives me crazy. Um, should have traded TP for Royce O'Neal. Rob should have never listened to Darvin Ham. Yeah. Tyler, do you think the Lakers should try to go get Zach LaVine, Alex Cruz, and Andre Drummond next season if the Bulls want to trade them? I think it depends on what else is out there. If you can, like, ideally, in a perfect world, we get Donovan Mitchell. I'm not super sold on the Lakers getting Donovan Mitchell. I just don't know if they'll have enough assets. But he wants to go to. He wanted to be a Knick. Do the Knicks even need or want him anymore? Right? Does him and Brunson in that front that backcourt make sense anymore? Especially now that they have, a OG Anunoby, and then they went and got Alec Burke and Boyan Bogdan. I'm not saying that those guys are comparable to Donovan Mitchell, but I'm talking about like size. Do they wait for like that bigger fish? That like, do they just hold their assets and wait and go, wait, hey, what if Joel Embiid becomes available or something like that? If the Knicks are out on Donovan Mitchell, I think that really jacks up the opportunity for the Lakers to land him. If the Knicks want Donovan Mitchell, the Knicks are going to get Donovan Mitchell. If the Knicks decide, hey, we're going to stay out of that play for Donovan Mitchell, then I actually think the Lakers will have a chance, only because Donovan Mitchell, you'd be trading for him for a year and then he could just leave you. So how many teams are going to be willing to sign up? But at the same breath, Donovan Mitchell has to want to go to the Lakers. Like, the Lakers have to be an option for him, right? Where if he's like, hey, if I get traded to the Lakers, I'll re-sign. If he's kind of like, well, I still want to test free agency, then no, you stay away from him. But if he's like, hey, like, I can't go to the Knicks, I'll take the Lakers. Like, let's go me, LeBron, and AD, and then post AD or post LeBron, then it's me and AD to build around. Like, it's a good spot to be in. I just think it depends with him. And then after that, I'm not huge on Trae Young, but I just think Trae and AD duo would be better than like a Zach LaVine and AD duo. So personally, no. If like that's last, like no other options, then sure. But if it's like you have several other guys, then I'd rather do that. Can we even still get anybody? Technically, like, we could waive some guys, but the problem is all those guys would count towards the cap next season. So, and again, who are you signing that's making that big of a difference? I mean, let's be real, y'all. We knew we would have probably dropped this game. We have winnable games coming up, and we gotta win them. Y'all like the video? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. When is Vando even coming back? We were supposed to get an update after the All-Star break. We haven't gotten it yet. It's still very possible Vando doesn't come back at all. He could miss the entire season. So we'll see. Time will tell. Are we Clippers Nation yet? O'Neal underperforming in mini Nets games, yet all of a sudden drops 20 on this team. Yeah, because I mean, he's not drawing as much attention. He understands his role. I mean, O'Neal's good. I wanted O'Neal. The Nets were just bad, and the Nets just didn't have like great, like outside of Dinwiddie, great playmaking. But Dinwiddie was like checked out. Pretty hard to make the playoffs. 2 road games, just hard, really, really hard to get. Ham is wasting Spencer's playmaking ability and shooting off the dribble. Agreed. We got Spencer and D'Lo yet. Braun keeps having to play point guard. It's not going to change. We are unfortunately more successful with him in that role. Got to get other guys in a better role. He's not a catch and shoot guy. Agreed. What's going on, Lee? Appreciate you being here. What's up? Dinwiddie def should have went to Dallas. He screwed himself up by opting to play for Ham. Yeah, I mean, hopefully eventually gets the role carved out. We'll see. But right now it is just it's killing me. Team arrogance is going to cost them. Sitting out collecting millions and not giving a damn about winning. I feel bad for Spencer. Yeah, right. I mean, the way he's been playing, the way that his role has been used right now, I do too. This NBA is garbage. The The biggest problem with the team is overhelping and open three-pointers. Rebounding also. That has been an issue since last year. I don't understand what they're doing. Guess as good as mine. Not having our depth is killing this team. See why so many players are getting injured. Come on, chat. Lakers not getting Spider. What's wrong with you? I don't think that they're getting him either, but we will see. I trust what you're saying, but I look at the Boston game and I had so much joy, and he led the team that game. So I may have a little bit of bias because of that game. Just love. Look, again, 12 hoops. I promise you, like I love Austin Reeves, and I do think he can have success on this team. I just think there's just too many redundancies in the starting lineup, right? Austin Reeves, again, he has moments. He plays big. He steps up big, right? He's had those games, and I know a lot of it. And I've had moments this season where I've been biased because of like what he did last year, and because of those games, right? I've had my moments where I'm like, damn, like here he is, like let's go, let's get it back. I've even made videos where I'm like, is Austin Reeves turning it around? And it's just like, but my problem is we have enough of a sample size now. Excuse me, we have enough of a sample size now where it's been the same thing. Like he'll have these huge games, he'll have these huge moments, and then he just kind of fades. And then I have these huge games, and then he just kind of fades. Like the Boston game, it was like he got to be Reeves. It's hard for him to be Reeves in that starting unit, which is why I want him to move to the bench unit, which is why he has more success in the bench unit, because he gets to be Austin Reeves, right? He doesn't have to, balance making plays and scoring. He can just score, right? You look at that game against Boston, right? It's a great example. Austin Reeves, what was he? He was aggressive. He was in attack mode. He was constantly being aggressive and looking to score. So my thing is like put him in that position in a bench role and let the guy cook, right? Like that's my thoughts in that regard. Right? Like my thoughts are like he plays best in a bench role, and he gets but he can't be overly aggressive in the starting unit because he has Austin Reeves and he has LeBron James and he has Anthony Davis and he has now Rui Hachimura and he has all these things. So he's got to kind of pick and choose. And then when Reeves or when D'Lo and LeBron go to the bench, Reeves have to have the playmaking duties, right? So to me, if you move Reeves to the bench with Spencer Dinwiddie, let Spencer Dinwiddie be the playmaker. Let Austin Reeves just go find his shot and be buckets. I think he's going to have more success. I also think that's why he's had more success. But sorry, I'm trying to talk and look up that Celtics game real quick. So you look at the Boston game, right? Austin Reeves took 18 field goal attempts and 10 threes. And he had 32 points and shot efficiently and effectively, which helped a lot, right? When he's not shooting efficiently, that's work. But he got to be aggressive, right? He got to continue to, he got to continue to be in attack mode. He got to get up 18 shots, where he's averaging like 8 or something like that in the starting unit. So that's a big difference. It's a big difference. Right? Because he can be more aggressive. He can be more in attack mode. So that's my thing. Again, I like Austin Reeves a lot. I think he can still be a very valuable piece on this team. I just think he needs to play a different role first, or he needs to get back to being the two guard. Right? You look at last year. Why did he have so much success last year? LeBron was out, and we needed him to be aggressive, right? And he got to be aggressive. And then we got in the postseason, everything ran through LeBron and D'Lo a little bit, and Reeves was just in attack mode. He was just being aggressive, attacking the basket, right? Getting those little spots. But I just think if you move him to the bench, you can do that more. As it stands, can we get Schroeder or Monk next year? Isn't Schroeder under contract another year? I think didn't he sign like a 3-year deal? Dennis Schroeder contract. I don't think Schroeder's a free agent next year. Come on. Why is it bringing up Lakers? There we go. He signed 2-year, $25 million a year deal. No, he's under contract next year for $13 million. That's what I thought. I didn't think it was like a team option or player option. Yeah, so Schroeder, probably not. Malik Monk, I know, is a free agent next year, if I'm not mistaken. But the problem with Malik Monk is how much is he going to cost in demand? Because the Lakers are going to be limited as far as salary goes and stuff. So to me, it just depends on how much it even he wants. If he's looking for 18 million or something, exactly 100%. Keep up the great work. Love your commentary on the Lakers. Even if you disagree with the chat, keep it civil and keep it real. Well, I appreciate 12 hoops. Look, I love this stuff. Like, I'm hyped and animated, and I get like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, but I don't mean like any ill will, right? I mean, it's fun, right? Like this is sports, right? That's what sports is. Like we talk, we have our things that we agree on, we have our things that we disagree on. That's why I love these live streams, because I get to go through these streams and hear all your points and and then give my opinion, and then you get to comment and leave a response, and then and then I get to respond. To me it's engaging, right? It's more engaging. And that's what these live streams are about to me, like creating that engagement. I'm very blessed to be in this situation that people even want to have conversations and disagree with me, right? Because I'd rather you disagree with me than not watch me at all, right? Like, because without you guys, I'm just talking to myself. It's not fun. So yeah, I'm very appreciative. Seriously, thank you, 12 Hoops. And like I said, we agree, we disagree. That's what it's all about. We all want the same thing. That's what I say all the time when people are like, we disagree a lot, but I love it. It's like, yeah, but we all want the same goal, right? We're all Laker fans. We just want the Lakers to be good. That's all I want. I don't care. Like, if I'm wrong and the Lakers are great, then perfect. At the end of the day, I just care. I care more about the Lakers being good than I do being right or wrong. Like I've had things happen where people are like, well, you were wrong. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm glad. Like, good. The Lakers are good. Lakers are doing good things. Like, it just depends. I just want the Lakers to be good. That's all I want. But I appreciate you. Good. Yeah, and it's not like we can use the saying of it's only 3 to 10 games anymore. Yeah. And a positive, the Mavs lost. Did the Mavs lose? Good. No disrespect. AR should come off the bench, start Spencer. I mean, I wouldn't mind Spencer in the starting unit. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if you're here, Lee, but I talked about it earlier where I was like, I don't hate the idea of like moving Reddish. Like if you want to keep Rui in the starting unit, put Reddish at the 2. Rui shooting 40% from 3 this year. Kind of have that balance. But I just think if you want, keep Dinwiddie, keep Reeves, let them both play the roles. Let Reeves be the 2 guard, let Dinwiddie be the point guard, and you'd have one of the best backcourts, 2-man backcourts in the league, right? At that point. I'm bench, talking about bench. Reeves needs to come off the bench ASAP. The Kings won't give up easily, that's for sure. They definitely won't. And man, AD's like what, 0-11 or something like that against Sabonis. I might have over-exaggerated on that, but I might have not. Bench Reeves, please. Reeves is terrible. I hope Cam comes back soon. Again, I wouldn't say I don't think Reeves is terrible. I just think he's playing a role that he's not great at, and we need him in a different role. Please make a video of why Reeves needs to come off the bench. Hopefully, Lakers front office and Darvin sees it. I mean, I've made several videos about that. I've talked about that heavily. I definitely gonna wrap up the stream here in a moment. I gotta get some videos up here soon. Talk about some stuff. But yeah, definitely. We'll be talking about Reeves more here soon. I hope Cam gets revenge on Harden for him injuring Cam. Yeah, right. And Spencer is so much more than what he is right now. We have to unlock his Dallas form, and he will cook. Let him cook. I agree. 12 hoops. I don't mind the Reddish starting lineup, but he is not a playoff caliber shooting guard, small forward. So we need another solution. Yeah, which is why I prefer Jared Vanderbilt. I'm just talking about like our option. Problem is our options right now, right? We're very limited on like the options that we have. That's why I'm thinking just like right now. And then hopefully Jared Vanderbilt comes back, and then you can just swap Jared Vanderbilt in there. Problem is like who is a starting, like a true playoff caliber shooting guard small forward? I mean, Vando, I think, is about as close as we get, right? And that's assuming you want Rui in the starting lineup. If Vando comes back and you want to keep Reeves in the starting unit, fine. But then I think you have to start Vando at that point. But I think for right now, if let's say Reddish comes back, I I like the idea of just like swapping Reeves for Reddish and seeing how that looks. If it's like, the problem is Darvin Ham's not good at like gauging things, right? Because like if it was me, I would do that and then just get a decent feel for it, and then all right, if it's working, stick with it. If it's not, pull it out. One of those things. But would you do 80 for Giannis? Obviously, just a fun trade. Absolutely. Talk about look, I love Anthony Davis. He's incredible. Giannis is like top 3 player in the league. That's like one of the few people I would trade AD for. True, but even Vando is a one-way player, which is again my concern. But he shined a bit 3-point shooting when he got fully healthy for the 10-game stretch. Yeah, and the Lakers did a better job of putting him in actions, right, and having him move without the ball and stuff. So I'd rather go with Vando. And Vando, he's just better. He just has a better nose for the ball. So I like the idea of like Vando and just kind of going big. And like having Vando, like every time somebody shoots, you just go chase down the ball. And he's quick enough and skilled enough to where he can get back. If the ball ends up getting out of his reach, he can get back. But I don't know. Lakers need to figure something out. When is Cam even coming back? I don't know. Basically any game now at this point. Hopefully it's the game coming up, but we'll see. Go Lakers. I'm with you, Lee. Go Lakers. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to finish this. I got to get some videos up for the afternoon. These like early games are tough because it's like, damn, I got a lot of work ahead, and I can't like make videos overnight because it's like I don't know what's going to happen in the morning. So it's just like it's tough. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But I appreciate you guys again. Thank you all so much for the conversations, all that stuff. Really gave me super chats. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. It really does. I'm trying to do this for a living, so anything I can get is beautiful. But another way to help me, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys are awesome, and let's bounce back. Let's get this bounce back. Let's beat these Clippers and get ready, beat the Wizards, and then get ready for this grueling march.